Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday. Gosh, so many of you are on here already. Good morning, everybody. I've been up for a while. I hope your Saturday morning is going good. Sorry, I have to blow my nose. Sorry about that, but it's a dose of Saturday stitch in realness right there. Sorry about that. Great to have everybody here. Gosh, everyone who's anyone is here, right? Happy Saturday. It also feels like the camera is a little, needs a little bit of a cleaning. I look a little soft there. Let me get that. That's better, I think. Hold the phone here just a second while I grab, I know it's Saturday, and I've already done my walk and I still haven't changed. I'm kind of in my walking clothes. I threw a sweater over it, so I'm kind of a mess, but let me put on some lipstick just for fun. There's no earrings. There we go. That's a little bit better. Put that right there. My show lipstick, perfect. I chatted with Janice earlier today. We did plans for stuff that we're launching while I'm away, for Emily's Christmas in July stuff we've got going on. So yeah, it's kind of busy, right? Yeah, I know. I do mean business. Sorry. Gross. Sorry about that. My voice, I guess I haven't spoken in quite enough lately. I need a mint. There we are. Let me have some water. Our Saturday broadcasts are always if we think Free Tip Friday is lax, Saturday is super, super lax. I am Margaret. This is not a new space. This is just the other part of the office. So usually when I do shows, I film over there, right? Let me turn this so you can see this. You can see all my mess. But right, I film from over there. So now I'm over here. My bead collection is in those drawers. That's where I take photos. And that is one of my main computers up there where we watch RuPaul's Drag Race sometimes to get us through the day. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, it might be allergies. I don't know. Who knows? All I know is it's already over 80 degrees here today. It's going to hit 103 is what they say. But I have the AC on, so I'm kind of wearing a sweater because evidently I can't regulate my temperature. Julie, I saw you're making my earrings from Wednesday. I'm super excited about that. I've got mine over here that I'm trying to finish because those are on tap for me to take to France. I've got the finished one. Let me put the one finished one on. I think it looks so, look at how great it looks, even if I do say so myself. Really dresses up my B-52's t-shirt, right? Yes, good times. I love it. So I've got some questions for you today. I've got things to share with you today. Chris, would you mind turning the AC up just like one tick? I feel it's a little warm and I want to keep my sweater on. Chris is bustling around doing some orders. Miranda is off to her brother's graduation, his high school graduation. So yay for that. So we're all good here. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, it's, let's see. Oh, right. The fire's up in Saskatchewan. Oh, we're sorry about that. Yeah, I bet it's terrible. Here in California, especially in Central California, we've had our own share of wildfires. So I'm so sorry that's happening to you. I hope that you're someplace where you get a little bit of a respite. So sorry about that. I had to move that water bottle. It was harshing my mellow. Okay. let me get to what we've got here today, because again, there's a lot to go over. So let me start. I've got some questions for you. Then we're going to look at things. We're going to look at, I did a stitch-in pattern for you today. No Frida kit. It was too much. So maybe next weekend. I don't know. It's got to launch soon because I've got other stuff that have to launch after that. So I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you a couple of other things that I've got coming down the pike. But let me move this, clear a space here on my bead mat because I've got a question for you. And you tell me if you think I'm crazy. And of course, these glasses are super dirty. Will I ever learn? Let's see how the B52 t-shirt does on cleaning these up. You know, like Duluth, how they have like in their outdoor, like their shirts, they have like a little cloth, a cleaner. It's better-ish. But that's what I need for all of my things. Do I have look at that. What I have in my desk drawer. Okay. Let me show you while I'm cleaning my glasses. Let me move this. In my goal to make all of the jewelry, well, it'll be made anyway, but to make all the jewelry for my France trip, I dove into some of my personal stash, and I'm making this necklace. And I thought if you folks liked it, I would try and source it, but it's kind of crazy. And let me show you. Let me get my glasses on. Let me do this. Okay, so what I've got here, these are 14 millimeter. These are big guys here. And I loved these 14 millimeter beads a lot. And you know how I like to make kind of a simple necklace with a few little, you know, kind of accent beads to it. These are out of my own personal stash, and this is one of my coin buttons that I made. Okay. But what I'm really loving, and this is some thread, some Ceylon that I had in my stash. Way, way back in the day, we used to carry all the neon colors of Ceylon. And no one liked them but me. They did not sell. But we stubbornly kept carrying them. We kept carrying them. But when we were trying to make some room on the shelves, we were like, you know what? We cannot still have these neons because no one is buying them. So we've got to disco them. So we discontinued them. But I had some in my stash. So I used, this is like, I think this color is like poinsettia or something. It's one of the neons. I was thinking about doing a kit, sourcing some 14 millimeters. This might be ruby and zoisite, I think, maybe. I'm not sure, 14 mil. But I can find some 14 millimeters for you. I found some really interesting, this is like a carved gold piece from way back in the day, but I found something that's kind of close to this, and I can find something that's kind of like this old Bali bead. I'm seeing crickets. Do you guys hate this color? And tell me the truth. If you hate it, I mean, if you like this idea, but maybe a different thread color, you could choose your own thread color, maybe. I think, Margaret, these might be ruby and zoisite, but I'm not sure because they have striations, but I'd find something that's kind of unique with it. Maybe if I make this kit, maybe we'll get the threads back in a limited capacity, and maybe I'll get some different neons and you can choose the neon you want. with it, maybe. I'm kind of over the moon about it. I love it. And these have some big holes. So I knotted it on 4 strands, right? Julie, I'm so glad. Julie, you are like my style guru when it comes to the bead world. And I'm not kidding. Because I know you work with neons and stuff as well. Sarah, my other style guru, is like, nay. So that's good to know, right? So what I would do, if you like this, maybe I'll get the neons back in. You can choose your own adventure with your thread color, because I kind of like this idea. And maybe I won't do it as a kit. Maybe I will get, and thanks for helping me talk this out. Maybe I'll do like a choose your own adventure, and I will get some of the neon threads back in. I will get some 14 millimeters in a few different colors. I'll get like this bead and maybe a unique button. And then you could choose your own adventure, right? This is one of my coin buttons, Clarissa, that I make. I did a demo of it years ago on an episode of Beads, Baubles, and Jewels. Somewhere it's out there. Essentially what I do is I get a button. This one is New Zealand, I think, from New Zealand. And I sell these sometimes on my website, but not right now. If you come see me at my open studio, I've got some. This is a New Zealand button, and then I dap it in my dapping block. I do all this work by hand, and then I solder a shank in there. So they were kind of fun. But look up Beads, Baubles, and Jewels. I did an episode on it. It was really fun. It was fun to do. So, Margaret, everything is super expensive now. You folks saw, we just launched some semi-precious. I've been looking for, though our vendors are really good to us, and we're really trying to work together to hold prices, to hold them to some semblance of normalcy, right? But I really like this 14 millimeter size. So I think the larger the bead is, right, it's going to be expensive, but hopefully I can find some good ones that don't cost $1 million. So let me show you if I'm here. See how, so this would be like, this would work, right? It's going to go right here. The loop is going to go here. I'm going to wear the button in front, that bead in front. And then, where did that? So maybe I kind of turn it. I didn't really think about, there we go. So you can see that metal bead is there. And then the button maybe will be up there like that. That's how I may wear it. And I think this is about the right length. So if I get like a 16-inch and we add some, I think it'll be long enough. Let me measure this. I mean, it's a great idea for you if you have some large beads. Yeah, so this I think started out as a 16-inch strand, and it's finishing up at about 19 or 20, right? So I think it's a pretty good project idea, but I'd like to see if I can get these in, right? Yeah, let's hope so, Dawn. I don't want to bring this down into a tariff discussion, but suffice it to say, I don't know. Fingers crossed. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, back to it. Back to happy things. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. I did check. Our supplier still does have the neon threads. This is the thread color poinsettia. So maybe I'll get them in like a green. Maybe I'll get this poinsettia back in. And there's another couple of like super brights. And maybe I'll just bring them back for a limited edition, right? We don't have to carry them all the time. But I think this would be really fun. Hopefully, though, I can find some pretty sexy 14 millimeters. I have one more vendor that I haven't tapped into yet. And I'll give her a ringy dingy and see for that. Dawn, thank you and all of you sweet people out there who are here for small business. You know, we are too. I am trying to shop super small, shop super local, shop secondhand. You know, we're doing what we can, right? We really, really appreciate you. Okay, so that's the first thing I've had to ask you. So thanks for your feedback on that. I wanted to give you an update on this piece. This is my like all-seeing heart kind of pattern that I made. Let me answer this question real quick for you, Lori. I could get the super brights in, I think I'd have to check, but in the Ceylon, in the micro, I think the fine, and I was using the regular. So if you're into it, I'll look. I'm going to actually, so I don't forget, you know, I can't remember everything, but I've got my trusty list here. Trusty list. I am going to look for the brights, and we can launch them in a limited release, right? We don't have to have them forever, right? Ceylons. So let me see what I can do. Okay. Yeah, it really would be gorgeous in the tiny, tiny opals for sure. And some of the tiny beads, having that super pop of color, I think would be great. You know, I like a lot of like neutrals or a lot of black, right? But I'm also a child of the 80s, of the early 80s high school, where I like a lot of that pop of like super neon. And it's really, you know, it's popular. So I think it's great. I think a pop of color is awesome. Okay, let me show you this and let me get your feedback on this one. So this is one that I'm going to do. I'm going to have the pattern for you. Let me zoom out here just a bit. But I'm working up the sample. I don't want to sell this, you know, or do this project and sell this all together with the bead mix until I have kind of worked it out, right? So this is my layout that I did. This is an original pattern that I did. And so I started working with the colors here. And I love the pattern. What I'm not loving, and you can see kind of far away, you can see the contrast. But like I look at this, like the part where I'm doing the eye, you can see I'm about right there. It looks really graphic and bold and awesome. But the rest of the flowers, let me zoom in. See, they don't really stand out. So I think I'm going to change up those colors. What I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to make them brighter, and I may move to a metallic. I'm just not sure. I need something to point with. Here we go. Yeah, I agree. These flowers get really lost, and so it just looks kind of muddy. So this was a pink, and you can see here in the pattern, I used something really bright, and it didn't really translate into this. So I think I'm going to switch it up. I think I'm also going to switch out this, like all of this right here. I'm going to switch and make this a bright, make this pink. One of these I think will be a metallic, and make this purple more saturated. I like the color choices, but I feel like the color needs to be more saturated. So stay tuned. This is still kind of working itself up. I like that pop of metallic. I like that yellow. I like what's happening here with the center eye. So I'm just gonna switch it up. So I may just redo this portion here just to see. Yeah, the aluminum roses. I agree, Oliver. I think that the aluminum roses, I've got some sitting here, would look great. And maybe I'll just stitch those over, right? That would kind of cover this up if I did that, right? Those look great in there too, right? So this is still, I'm still playing around with this. What I want to do, I think, is I'm thinking about doing a background. So I'm thinking about making this a pin. So I've got a pin. I think I talked to you about this because Ellen sent me a nice source for like the big pins for this. And I'm thinking about doing this on a background of like a bright felt. I was also thinking about putting it on like a little square of this fabric. So it goes, so the kit or whatever would have all of these beads to stitch it, and then a square of this fabric, the backing fabric, and the pearl. And the pin, sorry. So I'm still playing around with it. I don't know. I don't know where this is going to end up, but it's still on the burner. But this is fun. I would like to translate this one. Maybe I'll try and do this in beads to translate this pattern in. That would be kind of fun. I'm using the bead designer. What's it called? It's called the, let me tell you, we've talked about it before. I've got it right here on my computer. Bear with me here. It's called Bead Tool is what I'm doing. And that's what I use to just make these patterns. Yeah, this fabric was awesome. I got it at Family Threads when I was in San Juan Bautista. It's the quilt store there, Family Threads. The fabric itself, I'll tell you, let's look at the selvage. It is Dear Stella is the fabric company, I think. And let's see if it's called anything. Here it is. It's right here, in case you're looking for it in bulk. I think it's great, right? So I got some to toss into this kit. I was really happy with it. But Family Threads, that's the fabric store or the quilt shop in San Juan Bautista. So those of you who are coming to the bead retreat, they're not, I think they're open on Monday. They're not open on Sunday, but I think they're open on Monday. She gives us a discount in person when we're there for the bead retreat. So if you go, just let her know you're with the Bead Shop Bead Retreat and she'll give you a store discount, which is super generous. Maybe we'll all go and visit together and just look for some inspiration. But yeah, it's really fun. So that I'm still working on. But thanks for that feedback. I agree. I think that those beads aren't quite right. And when you do patterns like this, it's hard. That's kind of, to kind of, make this happen. This is also good feedback, Dawn. Maybe I will do this. Maybe putting a little more white in here might give it a little more of a visual break. Has a little more white down there, which works, but maybe up here it does need a little more white. So I appreciate that feedback. because I want it to be as good as it can be, and I'm just not going to rush it. I'm not going to worry about it too much, right? So maybe I'll redraw it. Maybe I'll redo it and see what happens. Okay, so there's that. So this one, it's coming along. I also have for you, I did these two butterfly ones for you. This is the older one. This is the new one. This was linked in the newsletter this morning. And when I downloaded and linked the PDF, I didn't make the background white. It was transparent, which I didn't notice. So when you printed it out, the background was black, like this, and it looked terrible. So if you downloaded it this morning before, I don't know, maybe 9:30 Pacific time, you'll want to re-download it. Because when you go to print it, you're going to get this instead of this. Okay, but I fixed it. So this is just a little swatch to kind of tide you over because there were no Frida kits. And I'm going to start this one up. I just threw I just did it in random colors. You can put in your own colors that you like. Each bead is marked with the color here, and you can add the colors that you like. This comes out to maybe about 3 inches wide. It's not very big, 3 by 1.5, maybe, like this. I'm not sure. This one, so where I put these, this one I haven't gotten that far on. Look, I'm still there at this one. So, I mean, whatever. I'm just doing what I can do, right? Just do a little bit. Yeah, the Malaga mix, it is kind of Malaga. I mean, you could do this. So this is brick stitch. You could do this in brick stitch with any bead. I specified Delica, but I think you could do it in any like this, right? So if you go, let me share my screen here. Bear with me here just a second. And I want to show you. Janice and I were working this morning on some new things for you to navigate with. So just bear with me here just a second while I share my screen here. I just need to close some windows so I don't share anything that's too crazy. There we go. Okay. Let me do this. Let me share my screen. Let me figure out which one to share. Yeah, here we go. Okay, great. So what I did here is, let me go to that page. There I am. We did a couple of things on the home page for you. Right here next to the shop tab, this used to be called, this just in, this used to be called new arrivals, I think, right? So instead, we named it just like we always call it. We call it just in. So why isn't it called just in on the menu? So that's where everything that's new is living. Okay, we did just in. Now, we also did, because we're getting so many things, quote unquote, back in, that we decided to make a back in category right next to it. So, like, for instance, all of this tiara cast stuff that we've been out of, like, for flippin' ever. We put it all in back in. So it's easy for you to find. So I know that a lot of you get notifications, right? Sign up for notifications when we get stuff back in. That you can just go to this back in category and there it is, right? So this will, as things come back in, Janice will just tag them back in and they'll go in automatically. And so it'll be like just in, older things that are back in will go down to the bottom and eventually off the wayside. But if you want to check and see if things have been restocked, that's where you go. Okay, I think it makes it easier for you to find. So those are the two things that we worked on this morning. My mom's saying that her block has a huge block sale. I am not going. Not going. It's super, super tempting, but no, not going to do it. So yeah, so that's what I've got going on there. Oh, good. I'm glad you folks like it. Thank you. So great. I'm going to stop sharing that. No, this is the other thing I wanted to show you. So what I also did so that you'd find these patterns, see how I'm going over to learning and it says Kate Seed Bead Patterns. I move these to the top of the menu because it's always hard to find. And you can see like next to skill builders and all of this, Kate Seed Bead Patterns, both of these are here. Okay, so the butterfly brick stitch, and when you click on it, it just goes and you can download the pattern. Okay, so hopefully, so anything else that I kind of make with the seed bead patterns or whatever, that's where those will end up. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. Okay. Oh yeah, Loomerly. Loomerly is supposed to be really good. I haven't used it yet. I think I've looked at it. But I'm also Mac based, so maybe I'll check it out and see what's going on with that. I'm going to put that on my list of things as well, just so I have it on there. What else have I got for you? There's been some requests for Green Girl stuff, and that's one of the things that we need to restock. I have an order going out to Cynthia soon, to Cynthia and Greg, so you'll see some Green Girl restocks soon. So again, stay tuned to that just in segment. And Janice is just making it her new thing. When something goes back into stock, she'll just tag it and it'll go into back in. I know, Margaret, my list does have lists, but what am I going to do? You got to do something. So, I have a pretty good job, right? Pardon me, but my lists do have lists for sure. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I just want to see how this butterfly might work up. I'm super in love with this fabric. I'm going to put it here by that. I'm just letting my lifelong obsession with Frida Kahlo just come through. If you love the Frida things I'm putting up, awesome. If you don't, well, sorry. But I'm kind of having fun with them all. So let me get rid of this one here for now. That one goes there. Let me get rid of that black one, can go there, and let's take a look at what I've got. So color-wise, oh, thank you, Leslie. Hi, Leslie. I did enjoy my week away. We had a really great time. My friend Kathy came over from your side of the pond, which was fun. We had a really fun time. So when I start to choose my beads for a project, right? And you can see, like with that other one, that eye one, when I chose the pinks, it's really hard to kind of see what it's going to look like until you actually work it up. So I pulled some beads. I pulled this. I'm going to do them in delicas, though. Maybe I should have done them in something bigger. But this is the Mum's the Word size 11, right? Delica mix. It has kind of a lot of the colors I want to use, and I haven't really used it yet. So I'm just going to dump a few of these out. See how it has that bright yellow, which I like. It kind of has kind of that orange. There may not be enough contrast, but there might be. So I'm just going to see how it looks. So I'm going to use that, I think, for the butterfly body portion. And then I thought the background, I choose a couple, like this is the bayberry. I have another couple, but I wanted it to be kind of bright. So I got the opaque turquoise AB. So I've got that there. I outlined everything. I want to outline everything in black. So this bead number A. And I've got the black here. And I think maybe I'll do it in the matte, though I did this heart. Is this heart in the matte or in the shiny? That heart's in the matte. So maybe I'll do it in the shiny black. I don't know. We've also got gray. Yeah, Ruth, I think any will work. I actually, for a moment, thought about doing this in 15s and then thought, you know what, there's no way in any universe that I'm going to do brick stitch with 15s live on the air. But I think it would look amazing. And it would also shrink it down a bit too, which I think would look good. I also grabbed this hawthorn, but I think I've got those colors in here covering that. Maybe I'll add a bright to it. This is the galvanized silver. I've got the galvanized gold, but I feel like maybe that's not enough contrast. So we'll just see. So what I'm going to use, I also thought about using, this is the dyed opaque cranberry, which might be good. But I think I'm going to try and use all of like the pinks in this mix. I don't know. We'll see. Let me put all of these aside. All of them. And see what I've got. So across 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26, 28 beads across by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 22 rows down. I could have also just checked the pattern because it says when you create it. So what did I say? What did I say? 28 by 22, I think. I'm just going to pull the pattern up because it'll also tell me the exact dimensions. I should probably put that on this, but let me see. Patterns, open. I'm not super great. Butterfly 2. There we are. Yeah, 26 columns by 22 rows. And it is 3.12 inches by 1.73 inches. Okay, that's what I've got. Okay, so let me go back to, whoops, to us here. So I'm going to start off with my base row here for brick. So that means it has to come out to 26. So I think I am going to use the shiny black. I've got a beading needle that's size 10. I think I've got one here, so I don't need to open it. And I've got some fire line that's 4 pound. Okay, where's my, oh, there are my scissors. So we're just going to start. This is going to take me a second, but we'll just get to it. Oh, sorry, let me do this. And let me focus this. There we go. And that length, that's a super long length of thread, but I'm not going to worry about it so much. All right, so I guess with the brick, I do that base of ladder stitch, right? I think that's correct. For some reason, my brain is kind of not completely here this morning, but I think that's what we do, right? You could also, I mean, this is with brick. I could change this over to like looming or whatever, but I don't know. I like doing these little badges in brick stitch. I'm super into kind of the brick stitch kind of look. I was also thinking about doing something that fits into, though this would be brown, but our buddy, Sandy, Danielle starts brick with a peyote start. That makes sense, actually. So let me ask you this question. Maybe I'll try it. She does these first 2 rows then, right? She'd put on A, B, etc. String it all the way across, and then she comes down to the 3rd row, and the 3rd row is what locks it in. Is that right? Let me know, because if that's the way, yeah, 2 rows. Okay, I'm actually going to do that, because if Daniel Wicks does it, I'm going to do it. It would be really fun to do a brick that's really small that fits in these. I don't know, maybe something like quilt patterns or something really super simple. Wouldn't that look good? I think. So it's a thought, right? Okay, let me see if I can do this with Danielle's start. It might all end in tears, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this. And if this is my A right here, and this is my B. Come on. And I'm going to start it. This is bead 1, that's bead 2, that's bead 3, that's bead 4, etc. Okay. I knew there had to be an easier way. Oh, and Sandy says I started at the bottom with 3 A's. Like this. Is 1 your stopper bead? That's what. Alita, I don't why brick stitch over peyote. I don't know. How's that for an answer? I'm not sure. Maybe it's only because we have done so much brick stitch lately, but I can easily move it to peyote in the project, So maybe I'll do one that's brick, one that's peyote. We'll see. The dimensions, Ma, of this pendant are, I'm not sure what the inside dimensions are. I'd have to get a caliper, but it's 1.25 inches by 3/4. Right? I think it's really cute. And Becky makes different sizes of these, so we could get some different ones in. Okay. So okay, one of these and one of these. So I guess I just simply go back and forth, right? B, A. I'm just going to put these on. It'll be like watching paint dry, but we'll see. Great to have you here, Donna. Hello. So how many pairs do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 pairs. That makes sense because then I've got 2 pairs of just the black, right? So for peyote start, I'm just going to make my notes. 24 pairs of A, B. Okay? Like that. Sandy's saying only string 3 to start. I'm not sure. I'm going to do this the way that I think, maybe, and then I'm going to consult. I'm going to consult. Oh, did she maybe do a 2-drop? Was that it? Maybe she did a 2-drop with that. Anyway, I'm going to do this with how I think maybe it could be done. And then we'll see. Again, this could, did I say? No, I think it's 24 because it's 26 rows. 26 across. So it would be 24, 25, and 26. Not a 2-drop. Okay, I'm gonna check out what Danielle says. This is how I'm gonna do it. That Danielle Wicks. Danielle, are your ears burning? We talk about Danielle a lot on Saturday Stitch In, don't we? She's got a project coming up for us that we are going to pre-record to show while I'm away. She's doing a great project for us, so that'll be a pre-recorded live towards the end of June. Yeah, June starts tomorrow. 2 things. June 1st means 2 things. Number 1, it's monthly mix time. Monthly mix drops tomorrow. It's also Pride Month starts with June, and in a nod to Pride, we have based our monthly mix. Janice did it. It's one of our favorite movies around here. It's based on Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Just wait till you see the mix. And it's Delica's and it's 10-aught delicas. You're going to have to wait till tomorrow. But it is so gorgeous for June. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Halfway there. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. While I stop here. I would love to know what you folks are working on stitching this Saturday. Yeah, June is what? Juneteenth, right? Is coming. June's a big month. June has a lot going on. Father's Day. This was 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. And 24. And now a pair of the black. Okay. And yes, first day of summer starts, right? Summer solstice is there. Margaret's birthday. Love it. Yeah. My sister's birthday, my cousin's birthday. June's a big birthday month for sure. Okay, so now I've got the first 2 rows on, like peyote stitch, right? I'm also going to put a little stopper bead here on the end because I'm sure Danielle does this an easier way, but this is the way that I'm making up today. I could have probably done this ladder stitch in the same amount of time, but I like figuring things out, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to row number 3. Sometimes I put sticky notes, but this time I've been folding my pattern lately. I'm going to fold it right there. Now I'm going to go from the other end, from this side. Right? Let me zoom out a little bit. I love it. So many projects today. Love it. So what I do here is I go back. My first 2 are on. So I do this. Put on a bead. Skip a bead. Put on a bead. Or no, it's this side. It's this side. Right? Because this is a sticky outy bead. Yeah, okay. So I think it's this side. Put on a bead. Skip a bead. Put on a bead. Let me just do that and see what it looks like. Then I'll know where I am. I don't know. I'm totally flying blind here. Let's see what this looks like. So it's this, but you know what? I bet, well, I might still go through it and see what it looks like. Let me get Peyote stitch start. It all seems like a good idea until you do it in reality. Here's this. So the peyote stitch end I bet what Danielle does is she does it this way. Is that right? Are you still, who was the one who told me that? To do that peyote stitch start. Sandy, does she do her peyote stitch this way? I bet the start is, right? And then she turns it. Is that right? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But I bet it is, because this is in the wrong direction, right? Let's see. And work in one bead at a time. Okay. Yes. All right. So let me take off all these beads. I'm going to see if I can do it. Get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. The ladder would have made it so much easier. But I'm going to see if I can do this. This is how we just make new discoveries, right? Let me get it this way. So here's this. Yeah, I guess we could, because this essentially is peyote stitch this way, right? So I bet we could, right? But let me see if I could do it like this. Start this peyote and then turn it to be brick. Let me just see. I don't know. Black. Put on a bead, put on 3 beads. Now, put on a bead, skip a bead. Sorry. Like this. Oh, but this is odd count now. B. So this bead has to go on. Like that. I can see it. Okay. Then I need to turn the corner. So I go here, here. Anything not to do that ladder stitch, right? Okay, that kind of looks right, right? That's there. Now I go through this one. I feel like I need a phone a friend dial. Janice, what are you doing on here? Thanks for telling me. And then this B. And then through. I'll zoom in a little bit tighter too. Okay. There we go. Now I put on, oh, now I need to make a Now I need to make a color choice. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so I've got a C color. Oh, it's what I'm making these little stars out of. I think I'll make those little stars out of this silver. Right? I'm going to see if it can be done. I mean, why not, right? That's what Stitch In is all about. It can't be any worse than last Saturday's Stitch In when I totally didn't know. And somebody, I need to check and see, one of you sent me some instructions on how to do that bag, which I'm really grateful for. So I put this through, I went through here, and now I have a black one on, and I go around. Yeah, this is like turning the corner because it's uneven. Though I could, if I was doing this, why not just make this even peyote and do this with 4 rows? Get that in there. So when I turn it, let's see. Oh, Carolyn, I will, if you can transfer it, let me know. I can just make those transfers too. I know this isn't supposed to be super riveting. This is just supposed to be stitching. Let's see. Here we go. Yes. No, Dawn, I thought it was you. No, thank you. I really super appreciated that. Thank you so much. You folks can send me anything. It's okay with me, for sure. Let me try this. I mean, this is how we process it, right? I'm going to turn it here. I'm going to do this 4 across. I mean, why not, right? Because this really is, if we turn brick stitch, and I never really realized this, if we turn brick stitch on its side, it's peyote stitch, right? Look, this is peyote stitch across when I turn it this way. I never even really thought about this. This is crazy. Yeah. I'm also thinking about this. I might, when I redo this, if I would like it if a couple of people would stitch some testers for me. So if a couple of you want to make this as a tester, I'll send you the beads and the pattern. The only caveat is you need to send it back to me so I can take photos and stuff, but then I'll send it back to you. Okay? So if you're interested, email me over at info@beadshop.com and I'll send this out. Because if I ever want to get this done, I might need some help stitching. So if you're into it, let me know. Okay? Okay. Let me just try this again. I'm going to take this out. And we'll do it even all the way across. I'm just going to unstring. You know what? I don't even need to take it out. I'm just going to cut it off. I've got a mile of thread here. Right? There we go. Get rid of that. All right. First rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I've got too many needles. Let me get that out of there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first row of peyote, right? Now I come back in. It's going to be this row. Where'd the silver go? I'm just going to make all that silver. Yeah, take 3. Right? Take 3. A C bead. This is a C. Put on a bead. That's my mantra. Skip a bead. Go through a bead. Right? Okay, good. Put on a bead. That's a B. Skip a bead. Go through a bead. You folks are so funny, right? I do the same thing. You folks are really, really super sweet. Dawn, I do the exact same thing with my bag making videos. I mean, not me doing the videos, but one of my favorite bag makers. I just put her instructions on YouTube on my TV, and then I fall asleep. So I'm super stoked that I help people do that, right? Because I do the same thing. That's so funny. I can't stand watching myself on camera. I can't. But I do like watching other people help me out, right? If you have the Calm app, do any of you have the Calm app? I listen to the Calm app quite a bit to help me sleep, and there's some really, really good stories on there. I just love them. And I there's one with Walton Goggins, and he takes you to a yard sale. It's the best story on Calm. Second only to Cillian Murphy, and there's one about glass making in Murano. That's my other one that I love. So let's see. So I'm here. Seriously, I would have been done with ladder stitch by now, though, and I would have been far into the actual stitch, but now I need a C. But I like working these things out. And so now I'm going to go back, and I need a C bead, which is this one. I'm going to go through there, and I need a B. A B. Let's see. This one. I think I've already made a misstep. That one should be blue right there, but that's okay. I'm going to eventually get it right. So now all I really need to do is go on with the blue is on, the black is the top right here. And then the blue. Then through. Something like this is easy if you only have a few colors. If you were trying to do this with a lot of colors, it might be kind of a pain to do. But right, see, so this, I think, this makes sense to me. To me, though, and probably only to me. This here, tighten that up. Because usually with peyote stitch, I'm pretty fast. Sorry, I'm off the... like this. Okay. Yeah, great. So can you see what's happening here? This one is off kilter right here. This one is reversed. That bead should be blue. This one should be black. But maybe I'll take it out and reverse it later. Okay. So we're getting there. And then it just goes to brick. So let me just stitch this. Yeah, we do have, thank you, Janice, for mentioning that. We do have the loom graph paper that's really easy to work with. Whoops, that's a blue one. There was a question back here from Jermaine that I want to look at. Jermaine is asking why we're doing this a few columns at a time instead of all of them. So what I'm trying to do, Jermaine, like I guess I could turn this whole thing to its side and just do this whole thing peyote, right? But I'm seeing if I could do a peyote start. I am sure 100% this is not how Danielle Wicks does her peyote start. I'm sure she has something that's more that's faster and clever. But if that, because that little ladder stitch is just not my favorite for starting brick stitch. So if I could do an even count peyote of 4 rows to start and then turn it, maybe that would be better. I don't know. I guess I could do a 2-drop ladder, which would also work. It would just mean that the top row would have 2 rows of black or whatever instead. I don't know. I would have to play around. But there's more than one way to start a brick stitch project. Whoops, that wasn't good. Oh, it was just a little dish. It's okay. Don't worry. I don't know why that jumped off, but it did. Okay. So here we go. Oh, I had a little white one in here, and I need to make sure I get the top of the antenna. So let me figure out where I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like I skipped that one. So I'm going to put a silver one in. Right there. It's a little off, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Then I'll come back. And then I need to see what number I'm on. The skinny peyote, you kind of have to stitch the row and then pull it in to get the tension right. Okay, so here we are, like this, right? Can you see that? Right? That's not bad. So let me figure this out where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I think it's after row 11. that one, and then I come back and put that one through this way. Go through that bead, put on that bead. So this is where I want to add that one, and then I've got 3 in between. Okay. Let me also see, this is kind of driving me crazy. Let me see if I can trade, if I can switch those beads. Let me get another needle. Let me see here. Get that out of there. So I'm going to pick this back. Let's see if I can. I think it's that thread right there. Okay. So there it is. So I'm going to string a needle on this side. I'm going to put on, that's why we always have a long tail. This tail probably could stand to be a little bit longer. I'll put this on, so that takes care of that black one that was incorrect. Now these should be all black here. 1 and 1. And turn the corner. One and 1. Oop. There we go. That's right. That looks good. Now I'm just going to weave this in since my needle is here. And these little edges of thread, you know, the little bits of thread kind of bug. I'm going to go here, I'm going to turn the corner. Oops. If I can hang on to it. Turn the corner. Now I'll go up to this row. I just really just need to bury this thread. Oh, almost came out of the needle. Come on. It's because it's such a short little piece. This, again, this is why always leave a long tail, especially when you're experimenting like me. Okay, this can go, I think I can only get it through like a couple more, and then it'll be time to close it off. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to just cut off that tail under tension. All right. Whoops. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. I had to remember where I was here. I love it how our conversations always kind of deteriorate into food. I don't know if deteriorate's the right word, but always circle back to food, right? Yeah, cheese is magic, which I love. So 2 blue coming back and 1 black and blue going out. Tighten that tension. Here we go. Oh, yum. I love that people are talking about their recipes that they've found. Dawn, that sounds delicious. Chris does most of the cooking at our house just because I work all the time, but I do love to cook. But I don't cook as much as Chris does, and he is very inventive, very fast. Tonight I think he's making stuffed mushrooms and a kombucha squash soup. Whoops. Which is going to be tasty. I love a soup even in summer. Right? And Karen K, totally agree. Though, I don't know. Maybe not all the time. But food is right up there. I'll tell you what. Keep going. And food is definitely our love language. There we go. This goes in blue. Yeah, I love soup in any shape or form. Hot soups, cold soups. Yeah, we need some sunflower seeds for that kombucha squash soup. I think we have some pepitas in here. That would be really tasty. Chris also does a cauliflower soup. Janice, fill in a letter between the S and the X. Fill in a vowel. JP, fill in a vowel. Here we go. Let's see where we are so far. Let me see. There's my little counter. This is really what I needed. I needed an all. Oh, Janice knows it's just been too long. That's funny, JP. That's funny. All right. I love it. I love our Saturday combos. We're just so funny. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like 2 rows away from that. Okay. I'm getting there. Yes, red pepper soup. I love soups. We should do a bead shop cookbook and have everybody send in their favorite recipe. Wouldn't that be fun? Recipe or 2. My mom usually makes a beef chili, I think, with beans. This is a little known fact about my mom. She used to compete every year in the Hollister, California chili cook-off and won the champion chili cook-offer. Bead shop way back in the day, we also did a chili cook-off, like mother, like daughter. We did a very vegetarian chili, I remember. We did not win, but we won the Spirit Award because, I don't know, I think that was my doing, getting us into that chili cook-off. No surprise there. I have photos somewhere that I need to unearth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, my next row coming back has an antenna bead in it. My mom's secret ingredient and my secret ingredient, I would say that chocolate would be delicious, right? Because it's kind of like mole, a little bit like mole, which I love. However, my mom sometimes adds a can of beer and a shot of bourbon, I think, or maybe a shot of rye. So it's not gluten-free. I don't always do that because I like to make my chili GF because Chris is GF. But yeah, it's fun. Chris also makes an excellent borscht. Yeah, French cabbage soup's so good. Right? Let's see. I'm trying to go back to see any more comments. Always tasty. Now I really want soup, but I'll have to wait till tonight. So here's my antenna. So I'm almost halfway. I seriously could have made this ladder stitch like 5 times now. But this is a good way to have an alternate start to a brick. Especially if the pattern is fairly simple. Margaret, I can't believe you've never had borscht. Chris's family is Ukrainian, so his maternal side. He makes a delicious borscht. He roasts the beets and does all of that. Sometimes if it's the red beets, he will use the beet greens in there as well. Very Ukrainian. So delish. Margaret, good to Mary Ellen, good to have you. Hope you had a good trip. I bet Maine's beautiful this time of year. Okay, so I've got 3 beads in between here till I get to that one. Yes, Sharon, is haluski the same as pierogi? Is that the same? Chris makes a lot of different Ukrainian dishes that I'm not sure what the names are, but they are delish. Mary Ellen, Janice and I are jealous. You ate lobster for every meal. I love that story. That's the reason I really want to go to Maine, because a lobster roll is really my very favorite thing. Very favorite. Okay, now I need to add my other antenna bead coming back. Yeah, so many borscht, so little time. You either love beets or you hate beets. We are a love beets family here. For sure. Yeah, pierogies. Yeah. Chris's family, when we go to his big family reunion this summer, it's going to be in Calgary this summer. His family, I mean, they cook up a storm. And one of his cousins, she does so much cooking. She makes pierogi. We have a big pierogi making group. Chris makes pierogi, even though they are not gluten-free. He makes delicious pierogi. But she makes all kinds of really crazy, like old school Ukrainian, like grandma's recipes. They're so good. She makes this one thing where she makes these rolls that have beet greens on top, which are really good. I have no idea what they're called. But they're so, so good. At the last reunion, everybody brought kielbasa, or kielbasa, I think is, I like to say it with the Ukrainian lilt. And we had a tasting. So I'm not kidding. We must have had 30 different kinds of kielbasa sausage. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So, so good. Yeah, I should. Well, Chris has most of his grandmother's recipes, and that family, Chris's grandma was one of 10, I think. So all the cousins have, they still cook all the traditional recipes, including Chris. So, yeah, we've got those for sure. So, so good. For solstice, for winter solstice, we also do a Ukrainian dinner, which is great. Chris does it, and it's delicious with a borscht and stuff. Right? I keep catching my paper. So now I'm cooking with gas. See, I'm almost done with this. It took a while to figure this out, but now I'm moving. Yeah, Janice says her last meal. I agree. JP, why wait? Right? Let's have that meal today. Janice and I, we always threaten each other to go out to, what is it? What's the restaurant in San Francisco, JP, that we need to go and have Dungeness crab and Caesar salad made tableside? Though Chris makes a really amazing Caesar with like a whole tin of anchovies. It is so, so good. What's the one? It's on the water, JP, right? I grew up eating, my family was Italian, and my dad stands Armenian, so we grew up eating, a lot of really great foods. But it was so great to be in Water Bar. Thank you, JP. That's right. We grew up eating a lot of really great Armenian and Italian food, but having Chris's, that Ukrainian thrown in is a super delight, right? I know, Mary Ellen. This is totally the Food Network. So many of my friends are in kind of like the food industry and do so much food, right? Chris, yeah, my mom says Chris is the undisputed salad king. It is really true. My dear friend Gregory Leone, he is a dear, dear friend of mine. He was a chef in San Francisco, and now he's a chef in Milwaukee. He's up again for a James Beard nomination. He's been nominated 3 times, which is really exciting. So if you're ever in Milwaukee, go to Amalinda. But he has been on some of the Food Network shows, and he just had a show that was filmed at Amalinda that's going to be on one of the networks, which is really exciting. So he is the best restaurateurs I know, and he does a lot. Also, he does a lot of things for good. He does a really cool immigrant, or I don't know really the right way to say it, but he does pop-ups with people who are recently repatriated, or not repatriated, but immigrated to this country, I guess is the right word. And they do like a meal. Like he just had someone, I'm trying to remember who this latest one was, But what they do is they cook like their home recipes and they do a pop-up, and all of that money goes to like them to like further like their restaurant business if they want to open a restaurant in the US or whatever. It's really, really cool. I'm not explaining it very well, but it's really, really amazing. So Amalinda is the name of his restaurant, and it's in Milwaukee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. And he does some really amazing stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really close to this. 2, 3, 6. And then I go back through that one. Yeah, it's really great. That's why I miss Bead and Button so much, because every Bead and Button, it was in Milwaukee, right? So I would go and we would have such fun at Greg's restaurant, and he'd cook for us, and it was so, so, so good. And we would have so much fun. So I miss eating his food. It's his 10-year restaurant anniversary this year. And it would be so amazing to be able to get back and see him. But I don't know, that I think might be a pipe dream, but we'll see. It would be amazing. Really amazing. Okay. So let me go through here, and now I've got a silver. We're getting close to the end, my friends. Then we'll look at what this is looking like, etc. Yeah, I love Milwaukee. I really miss the Bead and Button show. Dawn, did you ever go to the Bead and Button show there? Emily and I spent a great day going to the art museum there. They did at that time have a Frida Kahlo. I can't quite remember which one it was they had on view, but it was pretty amazing. Yeah, we did, JP. We went to Greg's when we went to Bead and Button. Yeah, it was, his restaurant is so, so amazing, which I love. Yeah, it was really great. Ethiopian food, same, Karen K. That's why, that's the wrong bead there. I'm going to take it out. I got so excited thinking about food and art that I put the wrong bead in. That's all right. It needs to be the silver bead right there. That's what that needs to be. Or at least close to it. I don't know. I think the silver bead actually goes there. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me rethread this. Tucson, when we go to Tucson for the gem show, Tucson is a food heritage site. I don't know if you knew that, but it has a distinction of being a food heritage site because the food is so amazing and so diverse. My favorite Zimam's Ethiopian food, we've been going there forever and ever. It's so, so good. Really delicious. And there was an Ethiopian restaurant, I think it was over in Oakland, that we used to go to as well. I don't think there's any Ethiopian here in Fresno, but I need to look. Right? Okay, so there's my silver. And I'm going to do my blue. Thanks. I think that this color, I like the background. You know, on that other butterfly, I did a white background, but I thought it was pretty cool to have this. I know, I miss Dawn, same. You know, my friend Abby Berta and I were commiserating about how much we miss magazines. But if you remember Art Jewelry magazine, which was really amazing, the editor, Annie Pennington, she works for Potter USA now, right? And does a lot of metalsmithing tutorials for Potter, for Kevin Potter, Potter USA. So if you're not familiar with their YouTube channel, I recommend you check it out. You can still see some of Annie's really great tutorials, really great metalsmithing stuff. So if you're into metalsmithing, I urge you. It's Potter USA over there. And yes, this is exactly what the distinction is for Tucson. Thank you so much. It was a UNESCO site. That's right. The food here tells a story that dates back 4,000 years. And not a lot of people know that. I mean, Tucson is such a food mecca for a lot of things, but it's so, so awesome. But yeah, go to Potter USA, join their Facebook group as well. Even if you're not into using like a hydraulic press and stuff, there's a lot of really great metalsmithing info. Kevin also just opened a new classroom in Tucson where they teach with a lot of the old tools and everything. It's great. Kevin and some of his crew, it might just be Kevin. I'm not sure who they're with, but they're over in Europe right now, probably getting some more vintage jewelry equipment, which is awesome. Okay, so here, so my next row, if I'm here, so I'm there, and I'm there. It looks like I've got 3 more rows. So I need to come back through. It's time for a yellow bead here. Okay, or another silver. Actually, it's not yellow. Sorry, I'm multitasking, so I need to make sure that I'm up with the bead count because we're almost done here. So it's this one. Another. Let me see. Oh, this way. That one. Another blue. Okay, I was kind of bead blind there for a second. I couldn't see it. Another blue. Now I go back with the black. And that's where my silver goes. Okay. Yes, Kevin's son, Vincent. Yes, Vincent is really learning the trade. Dawn, isn't it amazing? I just love my visits there. It's really great. They have helped me on my metalsmithing jewelry journey. I have learned so much from them. I'm so grateful. My hydraulic press is standing idle right now, but hopefully not for long. I need to pound out some metal for sure. So there's that little section right there. Like that. Oh, and I see a question. Let me get to that one. Let me zoom in. There we go. All right, JP. Thank you. Thanks for jumping on. And Sandra's asking, the bracelet I showed on Friday is not highlighted on the website, the one that has the orange macrame on it. Let me find it. Oh, you know what? I think you're right. It's this one. I'll look for it. I wonder if I never made a project for it. If I didn't, I'll find it. It's this one, Sandra, right? Confirm, and then I'll try and figure that out. No surprise that it's not on there. But I appreciate the reminder. If that's the one, I'll get that on my list. That's the one. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. Anybody want to come over? I'll show you how to put a project up on the website. No, just kidding. I'll get to it. Always something else. So now, but now the first 4 rows of this pattern are done. Right? So that was good. Again, I don't know if this was actually what was meant by talking about a peyote stitch start, but this is my peyote stitch start, and then we'll look at it. Yeah, there's a black, and then I come back up with the black. All right, Margaret works for Squash Soup. Margaret, get in the car and drive down here. We've got a guest room. Actually, you don't have to drive down here. I'll just, let's FaceTime. I'll show you how to do it. No, I'm just kidding. I cannot take advantage that way, but a girl can dream. Okay, so this is how big the piece is going to be. Let me zoom out. Okay, here's the pattern. And here is this. So let me measure. Here it is. So this is actually, it is a little under 2 inches. So I completely lied to you, though maybe my bead sizes were off. It could have been, what beads was I using in the pattern? Let me check, because I don't always pay attention to the beads I put up. Brick. Oh, this is 8/0. Yeah, no, this is 11/0 I want. Let me move this to Delica's size 11. Okay, there we go. But how do I change the beads? So it would be 3 inches. So if you did this in 8/0, it would be 3. But this is 11/0, so it's a little under 2, which is perfect. This is about the size I wanted this to be. Okay. And it's in both places, Carolyn. The link is in the newsletter, but if you go to the homepage and you go to Learning on the top menu and you click down to Kate's seed bead patterns, it's right there. And that's where I'm going to add all of these little bits and bobs that I make for you. Okay. So what we've done here is we've got the first 4. Now I'm going to turn it from being peyote to brick. And I'd start with this row 5. Okay. I know I better start over with 8/0. No, I'm not going to start over. But you could do this when you get the Malaga. Maybe I'll do it in the Malaga. Wouldn't this be nice? The Malaga colorway. I think I have everything here that I can do it with. This also would look great. It's just a component, a little component part. So let me zoom in, and then I'll just stitch a row with brick so you can see how this is done. Oh, and then I got to get going because I still have a bunch of stuff to do today, but this has been really super fun. So I'm on row, so that was row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. for. So I'm going to fold this down again. That's what I've been doing with my patterns lately, is I've just been folding them down to keep up with the line that I've been working on. Okay. No, this wouldn't fit inside the bezel. It's too big. Too big. Right? But, so let's see. I need to travel my thread down. Okay. So I'm going to do this because I need my needle to pop out here. So here, like this, and this here. And then, so now, remember with brick, I put on the first two to start, and I go under the thread bridge. Right here. And whoops, I went under the wrong thread bridge. Oh, and sorry, I'm going here. I'm going under this thread bridge right here, I think. I came out of the wrong one. Come on. There we go. And back up. Let me make sure this is right. See if everything lines up okay. You know, it's funny because I came out of this black one. I think I want to come out. Oh, and Michelle, that's a great tip. I'm going to take this out. Bear with me here just a second. I knew that going from peyote to brick might challenge my sensibilities for a second, so let me put Michelle's tip up on here. Really great tip. You can put it in a page protector and you can cross them out. That's very smart. I like that idea. Let me see. I'm going here. And so I want to go here. Really very clever. Yeah, you can get the long metal board with the magnetic strip. That works too. Those are all good tips. I was doing super low tech because I didn't have any of those things. But I want to make sure I get my first brick stitch row to sit exactly right. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. Actually, I didn't want to come up through that one. I want to come up through this one. I'm going to put on my 2 beads, 1 and 2, and go under this thread bridge. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, that's right. Okay, so I come up to start my brick. Let me show you. Oh, that's a really, I'm going to have to look for that cross stitch metal board with the magnet. I'm going to look. These are all really great tips and techniques. This is also smart. Oh, also smart. Import it into the Books app. That's also very, very smart. Really clever. I love all these ideas. See what we can come up with? So see here, I came up through this second blue bead, came up, put my 2 beads on, and went through the second thread bridge, and that lined everything up correctly. Okay, so now I'm ready just to peyote stitch across. I mean, not peyote stitch, brick stitch across. There we go. This is very old school, very low tech. So there's my blue. My next one is a silver. That last little silver in this little flowery thing. And now you go under the bridge and up. Okay. And then we're just going to stitch all the way across, right? That'll work out. Yeah, the Bead Designer program, what you can do is, let me just click over and make sure I'm not telling you anything incorrectly here. Let me go to that bead tool. Yeah, let's see. The stitch, I'm going to go to Peyote. Yeah, and see what this looks like. So I would have to redraft it. I just stitched it. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll put it up. I just put it, let me add it. I just switched it from peyote to, or from brick to peyote, but it distorted it a little bit. Let me see, it's on the desktop. Here it is. And I'll add it here. So see how it changed that over? It elongated it. See, but if we turn that to the side, now I can definitely see how it's brick stitch, right? So if I rotated the pattern, I mean, basically you could rotate the pattern to the side, or you could just I could redraw this, right? But that's what it looks like. So yeah, that's that. Pretty simple. So Jermaine, this is a really great question. So is there a technical reason for not doing all of this as peyote? There isn't really. You could, if peyote is your jam, you could print out the pattern and do like I did and just do it across this way, right? Yeah, you could just do it widthwise, right? And it would, your results would be the same, right? And it really just, through this kind of musing, made me see that brick stitch is this way is brick stitch, and turned on its side like this is peyote. And yeah, peyote stitch is my jam too. It's my first love for sure. So print it out, turn it to the side, and do it this way, right? That makes sense. I love the idea of being able to look at a pattern like this and then trying to figure it out for different ways. like we were talking about earlier, you can go to our learning section and we've got all the blank templates. So you could print this one out, right? Print out a blank template and just color it in and play around with it that way. But I urge you to kind of play around with making your own patterns. I mean, I'm no great pattern designer and just made this little guy by putting up the size that I liked and then started coloring in the pixels, right? The little bead spaces. So whatever works for you, right? Works for me. Okay, so I hope that's helpful, I guess. I'm hoping. Anyway, my friends, it is time to move on with my day. Thank you so much for joining me today. If at all, if you're into it, we have put up on Coffee, the Coffee app. There's a little place to toss beadshop.com a tip if you are into it. If you're not, don't worry. We are super glad to be able to bring you all of this instruction to help further your bead education. That's what we're all about here at beadshop.com. But you can jump over to our Coffee account if you're so inclined. And many of you do. And thank you so much for those of you who have done that. It just shows us that you support the free education that you put out there. If you don't have the means or the wherewithal or the desire to do it, I totally get it. But you can share out this content. That also really, really helps us when you share this content out to your bead groups, to your bead friends, to your socials. It really, really helps. And don't forget, you can find us everywhere online. On Facebook, our Facebook group, which is a really great, wonderful, knowledgeable group of people over there. You can hit us up on our Instagram and on our Pinterest at beadshop.com. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification over there on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you always know when we go live on Wednesdays and Fridays and some Saturdays. And if you have questions, hit us up at info@beadshop.com. Remember, if any of you want to do this practice for me, if I redraw this chart that has a little more white in it, I'll send you the beads. The caveat is you need to commit to doing it. You need to have it done in like the next couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And you need to send it back to me so I can photograph it. Then I'll send it back to you. Okay. Or maybe I won't send it back to you. Maybe I need it for the project. Maybe you get to keep the beads and the pattern as the thank you. And I get to actually keep the piece that you've made. I think I need to rethink that because I need it for the project. Anywho, let me know. Email, and then we can talk about it. Okay, I just need a couple of you to do that. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you all so much for joining me. And the coffee option, it's right if you, I'll flash that again so you can see it. I'll also link it in the comments down below, but it's also on our main YouTube channel. If you go to the main channel, it's up in our description there, and you can click on it that way and find it. Okay. Thank you all for that. And super appreciate. So send me an email if you're interested. Send me an email, you guys, right? I might have you do a couple of different ones. All right, that's it. I'll see you next week on Bead Shop Live. Appreciate all of your support. Without you, we couldn't do what we do here. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.